Ferrari didn't just bring an upgrade to Austria, they brought a confession. A silent one, buried under layers of carefully crafted PR statements and masked behind the usual wind tunnel metrics. But if you know where to look, if you understand the language of Formula One, you'll realize what this really is. Not a refinement, but a reckoning. From the moment the SF-25 touched tarmac in Australia, something felt wrong. The numbers said one thing, but the onboard footage whispered something darker. A car unstable in low-speed corners, unpredictable through medium-speed transitions, and choking on its own ride height compromises. Now, in the hills of Spielberg, Ferrari is finally showing its hand. Not in dramatic fashion, of course. Publicly, it's just a new floor. But behind closed doors, insiders describe it as a philosophical reboot, the kind of overhaul that doesn't happen unless a team realizes its car is fundamentally broken. 11 races into the season, with no wins and no real answers, Ferrari has reached its tipping point. This isn't just another update before Silverstone, it's a test of belief, in the car, in the leadership, in the legacy. For Lewis Hamilton, this floor could determine whether his move to Maranello was redemption or resignation. For Charles Leclerc, it's the last chance to salvage hope from a season already slipping through his fingers. And for Ferrari as a whole, the Austrian Grand Prix will not be remembered for podiums or points, but for truth, finally laid bare in carbon and silence. At first glance, the new floor doesn't scream revolution. There are no dramatic winglets or obvious geometric shifts. But look closer, not at the shapes, but at the intent. Ferrari's upgrade in Austria targets two critical failure points that have haunted the SF-25 since its debut: aeromechanical instability and platform unpredictability. On paper, the floor now features a reshaped edge profile designed to better manage turbulent airflow as the car pitches through corners. In reality, it's an admission that the old floor was never sealing correctly, bleeding down force the moment the chassis moved even slightly off its ideal ride height. At Spielberg, with its blend of sharp traction zones and medium-speed sweeps, that floor was a time bomb. The previous floor forced Ferrari to run a higher ride height just to avoid instability, but that robbed them of aerodynamic efficiency and sent tire temperatures spiraling out of sync. The new floor, insiders claim, uses reinforced channels and reshaped Venturi contours to regain control under yaw and pitch, essentially smoothing the platform without compromising the aerodynamic window. It's not about chasing peak downforce anymore, it's about predictability. Lewis Hamilton requested these changes personally, citing inconsistent rear grip on corner exit and unpredictable load transfer under braking. Engineers Diego Tondi and Loic Serra didn't just tweak stiffness metrics, they rewrote the car's foundational philosophy to deliver stable feedback through varying load states. And that decision, to prioritize driver confidence over theoretical performance curves, might be the single most honest thing Ferrari has done all season. Because in F1, the numbers mean nothing if the driver doesn't believe in the car underneath him. And right now, Ferrari is begging for belief. For Lewis Hamilton, belief isn't just a technical metric. It's the difference between fighting for titles and fading into irrelevance. Since joining Ferrari, his public tone has been composed, professional. But behind the curtain, that composure has been cracking. Montreal was the first time the mask slipped, after a violent lockup nearly sent him into a wall and damaged the very floor he's been quietly criticizing for weeks. Hamilton's frustration broke through. It wasn't just about that moment. It was the culmination of 11 races spent trying to adapt to a car that refused to meet him halfway. His concerns about low-speed instability, inconsistent rear-end behavior, and narrow grip windows weren't new, they were just unacknowledged. Until now. Sources close to the team say Hamilton's feedback after Imola was what finally pushed Maranello into admitting the SF-25's core design was flawed. This floor is, in many ways, his demand made real. But the emotional weight doesn't rest solely on him. Charles Leclerc, Ferrari's golden child, made the quiet but telling choice to hand over FP1 in Austria to rookie Dano Banovic. On the surface, it's a show of generosity. In truth, it speaks to a deeper fatigue, a psychological distancing from a car that has drained his optimism, one race at a time. Stop trying to will this car into greatness. And Hamilton, despite all his professionalism, isn't hiding that this upgrade is a crossroads. Not just for Ferrari, but for the personal trajectories of two of the most talented drivers of their generation. If the car fails to deliver in Austria, it won't just be floor data under scrutiny, it will be the emotional contract between team and driver. And right now, that contract is fraying at the edges. Mathematically, Ferrari still has a seat at the table. But they're running out of chips. After 11 rounds without a win, their position in both the constructors' and drivers' standings has transitioned from contender to desperate chaser. Red Bull's consistency, even when wounded, and McLaren's rapid rise have reshaped the upper tier of the championship. Ferrari's delta to the front isn't just measured in tenths anymore, it's in trust, in execution, in timing. And timing is no longer on their side. If this floor update doesn't produce immediate gains, the rest of the season becomes a salvage mission, not a campaign. Hamilton is too experienced to misread this. He's watching the points spread, calculating the diminishing return of loyalty versus results. Leclerc knows it too. The team's decision to prioritize this floor as a prelude to Silverstone is coded language for urgency. They need it to work now, not later. With Mercedes finding form and Aston Martin showing flashes of pace, Ferrari's grip on third is even at risk. And the psychological math is even more severe. Every race the SF25 underdelivers compounds internal doubt, not just among drivers, but among engineers, strategists, even pit crews.